In lands far to the east, where great empires rose and fell, where scholars studied the mysteries of the heavens, three men stood beneath the boundless sky. They were Magi, wise men, astronomers, seekers of truth. For years, they had watched the stars, charting their movements, searching for signs from the divine. And on this night, they saw it, a new star, unlike anything they had ever seen before. It burned with a radiance unmatched, hanging in the heavens as if calling out to them. Their ancient writings spoke of such a sign, of a king who would be born, not just for one nation, but for the world. A ruler not of earthly power, but of eternal dominion. The Magi turned to one another, their hearts beating faster. Wise man one, softly, in awe, "The time has come." Wise man two, determined, "We must follow the star." Wise man three, thoughtful, reverent, "And we must bring him gifts, gifts fit for the one who will reign forever." The journey ahead was long, stretching across deserts and mountains, through scorching days and freezing nights. Yet, the wise men pressed on, their eyes fixed on the guiding star. Through lands unknown, through great cities filled with merchants and kings, they traveled. Some mocked them for chasing a star, others watched in curiosity. But the wise men did not waver, for they carried not just gifts, but faith. Faith that this child, born beneath this star, was unlike any ruler before him, and in their hands they held treasures, each chosen with purpose. Gold for a king, frankincense for a high priest, myrrh for the one who would suffer for the world. Each step brought them closer to a destiny greater than they could imagine. The wise men, believing that such a king would be born among rulers, entered Jerusalem, the city of kings and priests. Through crowded streets, past merchants and soldiers, they came to the palace of Herod. Herod was a man of power and fear, a ruler who saw threats in every shadow, whose grip on his throne was tight. And when the wise men spoke, the air grew still. "We have come from the east, following the star that marks the birth of the King of the Jews. Where is he, that we may worship him?" Herod's heart was troubled. Another king, one who might rise against him? He turned to his advisors, his voice sharp. "Herod, tell me, where do the prophecies say this child will be born?" High priest, "In Bethlehem, my lord. The prophets foretold that from the city of David a ruler would come, one who will shepherd his people." Herod nodded, his mind racing. He turned back to the Magi, his voice smooth, his face unreadable. "Herod, go to Bethlehem. Search carefully for the child, and when you find him, return to me, so that I too may worship him." But in his heart, there was no desire to worship, only fear, only jealousy, for Herod would allow no other king but himself. Beyond the walls of kings and palaces, the star still shone. It moved before them, guiding them unwavering. And as they rode, their hearts beat faster. They knew they were close. Through the winding paths of Bethlehem, past homes of the humble, past the lives of those unaware of the miracle that had come among them. And then the star stopped. Above a simple home. No golden gates, no palace guards, just a modest dwelling. And in that moment, the wise men understood. This was no ordinary king. This was something greater. Inside, the child sat with his mother. Jesus, no longer an infant, but still small, looked up as the travelers entered. Mary watched as the Magi approached, their eyes full of wonder, their movements slow, reverent. And then they fell to their knees. The Magi, men of wisdom, men of power, men who had studied the heavens, bowed before a child. They had spent their lives seeking knowledge, searching the stars, chasing wisdom, and here, in this moment, they had found the truth they had been searching for. Carefully, they placed their gifts before him. Gold for the King of Kings. He opens a golden chest, the light reflecting off its surface. Frankincense for the High Priest of Heaven. A delicate jar is placed before the child, its scent rising in the air. Myrrh for the one who will suffer for all. Mary watches, her heart full of wonder. She does not yet fully understand what these gifts mean, but she treasures the moment in her heart. And in that quiet room, the wise men knew their journey had been worth it, for they had found the greatest treasure of all. But that night, as the wise men rested, a warning came in a dream. Do not return to Herod. He seeks to destroy the child. And so before dawn, they departed another way, avoiding the path back to Jerusalem. For though the world was not yet ready for its king, he had come, and his light would never be extinguished.